This week, episode 188 of the Aussie Gamers Express podcast, we've got 2 solid hours of Destiny 2 talk just for you, Stinkfinger. We've also got some stuff on Forza 7 and, of course, the new release this week of Cuphead. And what do we have to say for you, Cuphead? We have to say this.
I can't fucking do this anymore!
That was seriously up. We almost died.
So you agree?
Yes, this was insane. That was pure luck. I was not in control of that situation at all.
Press start.
This is episode 188 and today is Friday the 29th of September 2017. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. I am your host Lucas and here with me is my fantastic co-host and very good friend Snoogs. How are you, mate?
Friday night's a great night for drinking.
Are you drinking?
No.
Oh, all talk this bloke.
It's a great night for it, but I'm on the waters. You know, we've got. I'm giving the liver a rest this week because I have a feeling that next week it might need a workout.
Yeah, okay, I haven't done the same thing this week. Bad me. But anyway, no special guest this week. Just a heads up. Just a hectic week with a lot of things on. You'll hear obviously throughout the show, but been so busy, haven't been able to organise somebody around our stupid time frames this week. But anyway, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, as usual, nothing's changed, video game discussion, and then we'll do video game news. And in this week's news, we have Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer, real-life platinum trophies, and some free games. Everyone loves free games. Then we'll do... Yeah, absolutely. Then we'll do user-created content. Then we'll do What's That Sound? Then we'll do Last Words. What are you laughing at?
I just throw you off your run.
I know! Shame on you. Anyway, Snoogans, shut up! Video game discussion.
Alright. Video game discussion. I'm throwing it back to you.
Oh, okay.
Because you have something that you got your hands on last week.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Your opinion has brought a few fanboys out.
Oh, I know. I've gotten absolutely destroyed on YouTube about this. Okay, now, look, I'm going to assume, and I'm pretty sure I'm 100% correct here, you're talking about me actually getting hands-on with the Xbox One X.
Yes.
Right, the coveted, the saviour.
The pinnacle.
The thing that is single-handedly, or no hands because it's a console, going to save Microsoft from a failing generation. It's the Xbox One X. Okay, this thing is the most powerful console in the world once it releases, I guess. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, last week I took a bit of a trip down to Sydney. It's Microsoft's flagship store down there, isn't it? The Microsoft store down there?
Yeah, down in Pitt Street, Sydney.
It is Pitt Street, is it?
It is.
Oh,
I know, because I did the design for all the racking that holds the TVs up.
Oh, look at that. How good's that? I didn't know that.
Pretty snazzy.
You've probably told me I wasn't listening. But, yeah, so I went down there, Pitt Street, Sydney, into the Microsoft store. It was open to the public. And I went in. The first thing that was a little bit silly. You remember last year with was it FanFest?
Mm-hmm.
You got there. They had the thing set up so everyone could line up like cattle and all that sort of stuff. And it was very obvious what you needed to do. This year I got there, although it's not FanFest, it was a different sort of thing. But I've got there and there was just nothing. I just walked into the store because It was just people sort of walking around that just looked like customers, and I was
it was a lot smaller at FanFest, and you actually had to register for it.
Yeah. Anyway, I've walked in and they had what looked like an Xbox One X set up in sort of tucked away in the corner, and they had Forza 7 running on it, and they had a competition going. And a guy walks up to me and he goes, "Oh, would you like to have a go? Do you want to be part of the competition?" And it was a little bit of a lineup. There's probably about 3 or 4 people ahead of me. And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for." And I'm waiting in line for probably 20 minutes, half an hour. And then I look over and I see another line sort of outside the store, down the side. There's like a side entrance to the store as well. And I'm like, what are they lining up over there for? And I was there with my wife, and she goes, "Oh, wait here, keep your spot. I'll go and find out what that's all about." She comes back and she goes, "Oh, that's the lineup to play the Xbox One X today." I'm like, "Oh, are you kidding me? I'm here lining up at this thing to have a go, and I'm in the wrong line." So now there's a line outside the door, and I've got to go. I would have been first in line because there was nobody there when I got there. So anyway, we line up. We get to the front, and you fill in your details and what have you. And they said, "Oh, I'm very sorry, we've run out of the backpacks because that was only for the first 30 people." I'm like, "Oh." Anyway, whatever. So they gave us a couple of drink bottles and we snagged you one as well. So that was the first little taste of the day. But anyway, we eventually got in, went upstairs, and the first game I played was Super Lucky's Tale, because it was the first one set up there. There was I think three or four different 4K TVs set up. And to my surprise, they weren't Xbox One X's. They were those white dev kits. Now, you've no doubt seen the photos that I posted that day.
I have indeed, mate. And that's the first thing that I want to bring to attention.
Sure. What do you want to ask?
They're the dev kits.
Yeah. Yep.
Just we'll get into it later. Some of the feedback that we've gotten on YouTube.
Yeah.
But, they're dev kits. They're still, month and a half, 2 months away from releasing the final product? Yes. So not only is the console a dev kit, the game's not gold yet.
Mm-hmm.
Still not running in full Xbox One X mode.
Right.
So this was just a taste test. I don't understand why so many people have got their knickers in a twist over it.
Well, I don't know why they showed it to us.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Though, take away the frame rate drops.
Yeah.
How did the 4K look? Well, that's what majority of people are focusing on.
Oh, not fancy. I don't know what to tell you, man. It didn't look great.
Hmm. It was just for Super Lucky's, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't stupidly amazing. I didn't look at it and think, geez, this is... You remember back when last year's EB Expo and I saw played the PC running Gears of War 4? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I'm like, this is going to cost me an arm and a leg because I didn't have a 4K TV at the time. And I'm like, this looks absolutely amazing. And I was like blown away by it. This didn't happen with Super Lucky Star. Look, it's not that kind of game. I know it's not going for those kind of graphics, but in saying that, it just did. I don't know. It didn't have any sort of crisp sort of feel to it that made me think, wow, this is stepping it up a notch. It didn't feel like a game that needed to be shown off at in such a way. You know what I mean? Like, so many things confused me about the whole thing.
Which is, just the wrong game for the, what do they call it? See, gone brain dead again.
Oh, no, just for the occasion.
Wrong game to be showing off for that occasion. Something like Gears probably would have been a better option.
And look, I totally understand that there was no age limitation for this day, so it was catering to kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm probably being a little bit too harsh, but I guess that's what I'm here to do. That's what I do. I'm going to have a look at these things and give my honest opinion. Look, whereas, children aren't going to care. Children are going to play that and look, oh, this is a fantastic game. Because it is. It is a good game. It looks lovely. And I will definitely be playing that on release. Because it looks like a new IP that actually looks like it'll go somewhere. It's bright, it's colourful, the controls are great, and it looks like everything that, the younger person inside me would enjoy playing. But being critical, as I guess somebody like myself that reviews things, putting in on my critical cap, it ran poorly and it didn't look overly fantastic in 4K. That's my honest opinion on that. The most alarming thing is, like you said, and like I mentioned in my my YouTube video, the frame rate. It's not even really a frame rate issue. It's more of a stuttering. It was strange. It was almost like there was pauses where the game sort of choked a bit, and I get that sort of thing when I'm playing a game that is intensive on my PC. And I've got the graphics settings up too high. And I feel like when it runs nice, it's because my GPU is really powerful and it's punching it through. But then it hits a choke point where the CPU needs to catch up, but my CPU's not powerful enough. And then that made me think as well about how little upgrading they actually did with the CPU in the Xbox One X. They beefed up the graphics card through the wazoo, but the CPU's only, I think was it 20 or 40% stronger.
Wasn't it just the original CPU that's overclocked? I don't know a lot of the technical side of it. I don't understand that. But
look, I don't think it's the same CPU. I think it's just a little bit stronger. Look, I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I'm just sort of trying to work on old information that I looked up a while ago. But it just made me think that the CPU power wasn't there, and that's why it was chugging like that. But then again, it's probably not at a point in its development, this game, Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah.
It's probably not at the point where it's using the right resources properly. So it doesn't have that polish
yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, that taking all that into consideration, there's probably nothing to worry about. But I don't know. I put it out there because that's what I saw, that's what I experienced, and that's what I thought. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not condemning the Xbox One X because it's not out yet. It's way too early to do that. And yeah, just putting forward my my experience. That was it, really.
What else? What else did you play while you were there?
I also played. Let me just go to my list here. I can't think of things off the top of my head. I'm getting way too old. Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct was there. But once again, not really a game worthy of showing off the Xbox One X because, I mean, Killer Instinct runs at 60 frames on the Xbox One. It's a fairly simplistic game for a console to run, so that was okay. Yeah, it played well enough. I played a Cuphead a little bit there. And I only played a real short bit. Got through the tutorial. I can't believe that journo who couldn't get past the tutorial. Because the tutorial for any average Joe, that tutorial section that he got stuck on, literally you can do that in about 30 seconds. The whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing just through one hit, and it tells you what to do.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Oh, you know, but and of course there was Forza Motorsport 7 set up with a steering racing cockpit set up there as well, which was absolutely amazing. It was great, coupled with a good racing rig, 4K TV. Forza Motorsport 7 played really well. It was great. That's another thing that makes me think, okay, look, there's probably no issues here. It's an isolated thing with an early build of Super Lucky's Tale because the other games are running fine. There's no dramas. Yeah, Forza 7 looked amazing in 4K. Played well too, nice and smooth. But yeah,
Fantastic.
it was strange to see that they were the dev kits. But I guess it's early out. They probably there wouldn't be any Xbox One X's in the country, I'd say.
No, it was only a couple of days before that there was a photo of Phil pretty much on the production line. So there was someone who was it was tagged on Twitter as him inspecting the first ones off the line. So there were the Project Scorpio editions.
Okay,
so
yeah.
that was only a couple of days, prior to this showing. So I dare say that there'll be dev kits up at EB Expo next week as well.
I would imagine they'd be probably the same dev kits that I was using. I'd probably just fly them up there, but yeah. So it was interesting to see the dev kits too. Geez, it'd be nice to get your hands on one. They look pretty fancy. But did you know that the dev kits actually have 12 gigabytes of memory more than the retail console?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that'd be just for running multiple things on it. So.
Oh, absolutely. That'd totally be why. And they've got the buttons on the front. There's 5 preset buttons, which are basically for the developers to do whatever they want with them. Like there might be one set of coding, and then you might press number 2 to change to a different setup for the game to see which one runs better. There's all different stuff like that. There's actually an LCD screen on the front as well, which, funnily enough, can actually be programmed by the developers to play little games on it. But that's not going to be part of the final console there. That's obviously being removed.
That'd be right, though, wouldn't it?
It would be cool. It'd be cool to have a little VCR-esque little screen on the front. But, I mean, is what it is.
It'd be nice to get one just to sit there and watch what it's doing. To be able to say, okay, now it's punching out this, now it's punching out that. This is the temperature of it. This is what it's. Excuse me. That's what it's running at. That'd
be good, and that'd be what they'd use it for. They monitor temperatures, frame rates, can display IP addresses for the different dev kits. Because when big companies are developing for a console, they'll stack like 5, 6, 7 dev kits on top of each other and use them all at the same time in the development process. It's quite an interesting thing. I don't remember what game they were developing for, but I saw something where they were showing where they had them stacked on top of each other, and it was what's his name? Oh man, I'm getting way too old for remembering things on the fly. Major Nelson. Major Nelson was showing the dev kits and how they were designed for developers and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was my experience with my hands-on with the Xbox One X anyway. So that was cool. If anyone's got any questions about it, just shoot it to us. Put it on the pinned post for this podcast for the week. I'll see what I can do for you.
Cool. What else you got?
Forza Motorsport 7. Now, just last night we got our hands on it, fully downloaded, bit of an early copy, and you and I had a few races, which was really cool. And I've got to say, after playing the demo that was released, I think the demo might have... This is for me, I don't speak for anyone else. I think the demo did a little bit of damage, because I didn't like it. I thought the demo was terrible. But in playing Forza, the proper release of the game, I'm actually really liking it. It's actually really good. So I guess, I don't know, maybe the choice of cars I wasn't too happy with, or like the way that the cars drove. But no, Forza Motorsport 7, I mean, too early to give a proper review on it yet, because we've only sort of played it a little bit for one night. But mate, it's pretty promising. I would say... And you've had more experience with the third major racer that's coming out this year, being GT Sport. But at the moment, I'm thinking it's a race between Project Cars 2 and Forza. For which one I think is race leader. Anyway. But,
which one's up the top?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a big call. But man, Forza Motorsport 7 looks amazing on my TV. It runs amazing on an Xbox One S. I haven't tried it on my original Xbox.
It runs perfect on the original Xbox.
Well, that's what
That's what I'm running on. Yeah.
That's what you've got, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's good news for Forza Motorsports. I think they've done some good things. Some strange things that I noticed, though. The weather settings. There's been a big sort of following with the weather settings that you can do, like the water pooling on the track, the nighttime races, all that sort of stuff. What I realised, though, not available on all tracks.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked into that yet, but I heard you after I got booted off it last night. I heard you in your stream saying that you couldn't set something up.
Yeah, I couldn't set it because the people in the stream were asking to see some weather effects, to see some rain, and I couldn't. I wanted to do Laguna Seca.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do nighttime, couldn't do rain, could only do daytime.
Well, it is in the middle of the desert. Maybe that's why.
Oh,
You can only do it, during the wet season.
Maybe you're just making excuses for a downfall.
Maybe, yeah, because you're only doing just 1-out races, weren't you? You weren't in a career mode or anything. Or...
No,
that's very strange. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not a big racer. I haven't played them all and done them all, so I don't know if this is a normal thing, that it's never really been like that. I can't say if Forza Motorsport 6 had the same thing or not, because I don't know. It's been way too long since I've played Forza 6. But yeah, that's the thing. In Forza Motorsport 7, if you want weather effects, it's only going to be in certain tracks, not all of them. What else was there to note? There's quite a few settings for it, which is nice. I bought a car and there was only two different liveries,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously the game hasn't released yet, so I guess it's probably only two reviewers or developers or whatever that have put the liveries up. But obviously once the game launches, it'll go through the roof.
We'll have to get Greggio around to get started on one.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that was Forza. What did you think of it?
Looks fantastic.
Hmm.
It's very hard for me to compare to others, because with others I use a steering wheel.
Yeah,
And
right. Yeah.
It's a force feedback wheel, and last night I'm just using a controller because, heaven forbid, a peripheral be cross-platform.
Hmm.
Yeah, hard to say how it actually drives, because I only ever used to drive with a controller, so therefore I could pick both of them. But now a controller feels very foreign.
Hmm.
But visually, it looks fantastic. The little things that it does differently. There's a setting where it makes all surfaces react the same. So, for instance, if you're I did a race in Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
and the wind blows in and blows sand across the track.
Yep.
Now, if you've got this assist on, it doesn't make any difference. If you turn it off, the sand blowing around the track was just as I was coming out of a corner,
Yeah.
and as you hit the corner, the sand's obviously nice and loose on the road, so you actually start to slide. So that sort of stuff, and the different different areas of the track, that was a good feature. But I haven't gotten into it yet.
Yeah, it's early days, real early
yeah,
days.
I really need to get stuck into it and see what the nitty gritty is. But visually, I'm running like I said, a day one style Xbox, and I'm only running on a 1080 monitor,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks phenomenal. There's grain in the dash, the sun flares there, the cars, and the reflection off the cars is fantastic. The sound to me is a little bit off, but again, I'll take the Xbox out, which is what I did with the PlayStation and reviewing Project Cars. I'll take that out into the lounge room and hook it up to my surround sound system and crank it to really see what the cars sound like. So, yeah, it's looking good so far. It's definitely Forza is the top of the it's one of the pinnacle races that are out there. constantly putting out good stuff, so it was always expected. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait to get into the nitty-gritty of it.
Nice. All right, well, we'll leave that for now. We don't have enough to go on with that because it's only new to us. But Destiny 2, I played a little bit of Destiny 2 this week. I actually jumped into the Leviathan, the raid, and ran around in that solo. I wasn't obviously trying to do anything in it other than have a look around because you can, and I did, and it looks pretty. And I
Got slaughtered.
No, well, I didn't even get into any parts where there was any combat. That's weird because there's like enemies at the front gates, but they don't attack you. And strangely enough, I didn't shoot them, so I don't know. I'll shoot them.
It's funny the way that the enemies work in some parts of D2. There's been a few sections where I've been running around solo.
Yeah.
And especially, I found it especially on Titan. And I'd run into a certain section, there'd be a swarm coming at me, and I'd back up as I'm firing, and a few of them would come around the corner, and then they'd sort of stand there and go, shit, I'm not supposed to be here, and turn around and run away. And so I would just do that to get through it. So I'd just run around the corner, drag them back out again as they come around.
It's a jurisdiction thing.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah, but I pretty much did that. Played a few Crucibles, and that's about it for this week. Really starting to wean off the old Destiny 2, so I'm not really playing it very much anymore. I'm 273 light level, and I mean I still like playing the Crucibles, but starting to sort of dwindle a bit there for me. I've had a really good time with it. Got nothing bad to say about it, but that's just me, mate. I move on pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's run its course.
Yeah. Next one I got on my list is Total War Warhammer 2. That came out today, I think.
Total War Warhammer 2.
Yeah.
As in 40k?
Yeah. Well, it's not 40k, it's Warhammer. I think they're two different things, aren't they? You got Warhammer and then Warhammer 40k. 40k is like the space futuristic one. Like where you've got Space Marines and the other ones. That's all I can think of.
I don't know any of that.
Well, anyway,
that was my brother's domain.
See, it was very nerdy for me. It was never really my thing. But when I was younger, a really good friend of mine was well into it, and he bought the figurines and painted them, and I got into painting them, and that was all I really did. And every now and then we had a game. I didn't know what I was doing, but he would tell me, all right, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, and I won every game that I played, and I didn't know what I was doing. It was just shit luck, beginner's luck. But anyway, the Total War series they're like a real-time strategy mixed with turn-based combat. And look, generally not a game I would choose to play, right? But I got Total War Warhammer 2 as a review game to play on Steam. I got it, I don't know, about a week ago, maybe, or maybe not even. But anyway, I've been playing it, plugging away at it, and trying out the different factions. Now, the game, if you play this game, look, you play hundreds and hundreds of hours of the bloody thing. It'll go forever. So I just played the first few bits of each faction's campaign. And what it is, it's strange. Like, it's the first time I've played a Total War game, but it starts off and it's kind of like a turn-based strategy game, where you've got an allotted amount of moves that you can make, kind of like a tabletop Warhammer game. You probably don't know, but when I used to play Warhammer, you'd roll the dice, and what you rolled on the dice was the amount of, I don't know, inches or centimeters that you moved.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Amount of years you had to wait to get laid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, actually, I think I'm remembering that incorrectly. No, you never got laid. No. There wasn't even a time limit that was astronomical. It was just never. No, I think you could move each individual unit had a specific distance they could travel, right? So if you maybe you had one on a motorbike, he could travel a little bit further. If you had a scout or whatever, they could move further because that's their job. Or if you had a big massive tank, he could only move a certain distance, and you would roll a dice, and that would indicate the strength of your attack. But anyway, it's kind of like that. You've got an allocated in Total War Warhammer 2. You've got an allocated area that you can move in, but you're only moving your champion, like your leader, who's the leader of that faction. And you get into conflicts on this turn-based combat board, but when you get into a war, like so you're starting a war, it then loads into the real-time strategy. Then you loads the battleground, loads your units, the enemy units come at you, and you can set your formations, move your champion, your leader, and your leader on the battlefield. He like encourages the troops and fires them up. So you can press buttons and do like he gives your troops buffs. So it makes them more powerful, makes them brave, makes them more willing to fight, all that sort of stuff. So
cool.
And then it's just massive scale real-time strategy where you've got all these characters all moving around, and you can click on like a group or individual units and send them off to other areas, move them around. There's morale issues. If you don't keep your champion nearby, they might turn cowardly and run away. Your enemies, your teammate, your units, things like that. There's a whole lot involved there, and I've put together a review. It's going to be up quite soon. It should be up by the time this podcast goes live. And I've said in that review that it's definitely not a game for casuals. It's a game because it's very overwhelming. You get into it, and there are so many things to consider. And during the tutorial, I was listening intent. I'm watching, I'm reading, I'm listening. I'm clicking where it tells me to click, and I'm like, I'm not going to remember any of this.
I love those tutorials.
Oh my God. It's like, and there's like 1,000 pop-up windows that you have to acknowledge and click. And then there's the point where you're like, why is nothing happening? And you find there's another window that you need to click for it to continue. I like there's currencies, there's economies, there's buildings, there's enemies to keep track of, there's what else is there? There's I don't know. There's so much stuff. It's very overwhelming. It's the sort of thing that I would believe that people that play this game bought their PC to play that game.
Okay. Yep.
And that's what they have on Steam, just this game. Because although it is, you can pick it up and play it pretty easily, because I did, so it's obviously not that hard. You're not getting your money's worth doing it that way. You need to be invested. You need to put a lot of time into this game. Otherwise, you're going to skim the surface. Do you know what I mean? It's like getting, put it in easier to understand terms. It's like buying Destiny just to play the campaign, and then that's it. There's so much. Yep. There's so much more.
You're missing out on so much more.
Yeah, that's it. There's so much more in the broad, vast ecosystem. I don't know, whatever to call it. But the game is massive, and yeah, it's hours and hours of fun if that's what you like. You like that warfare. You like strategy, and you like turn-based strategies as well. So it's a great game. I couldn't really fault it on anything. It looked great. The graphics are cool. Like, you can zoom out and you see your characters on the down the bottom and like tiny little things. But you can full zoom right in, and it's like watching Mortal Kombat, like a fighter. Like, they're massive on your screen and they're battling each other and stuff. It's actually really cool. And hundreds of troops on the battlefield at the same time. So I've got nothing bad to say about it. It's not my kettle of fish. I'm happy to say that. But from the experience I had, I can see why people who love Warhammer go nuts for this game. Absolutely go nuts for it. So check it out. Total War Warhammer 2. Got my review up on YouTube. Go and check it out. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I'll do whatever I can to answer it for you. Right, moving along. Ghost War, the PvP for Ghost Recon Wildlands. Have you tried that yet?
No, I haven't actually got Wildlands at the moment. Well, I have it, I just haven't re-downloaded it yet.
You didn't need it. It was a standalone beta.
Oh, well, I didn't download the standalone beta.
Yeah, right. Doesn't matter. All good. It's finished. It's finished now.
Yep. I've heard nothing but good about it.
Yeah, it's launching on the 10th of October, I believe. And I played it with the Down Under Gaming Boys stick figure on the Xbox, and it's great. It's fantastic. It's a really good mode. Apparently, it's very much like old school Ghost Recon, the multiplayer that was in the previous ones, which I guess is a good thing. But it's great. Like 4v4. This is the mode. They only had the one mode in the beta. 4v4, no respawns, but unlimited revives. So
I've heard it's a bit like Siege, where you actually pick what class you're going to be. Well, Siege is operators, but with this one you pick which class you're actually going to take into the battle.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And so you've got your 4 players. So if one person goes down, for the entire game they're revivable. Okay. Now the longer they're down, this isn't something that was told to us. It's just something that we felt was the case. The longer they're down, the harder it was to revive them. It just took longer. So if you got to them quick enough, it wouldn't take too long. So you got 4v4, opposite sides of the map, and in the center of the map was a laptop that you could hack, which would give away the positions of the enemy. And at first I thought, oh, that's a bit shit. But that there is your key to hunting down campers. And camping runs rife in this game. They will camp at the back of the maps, and you're like, I don't know where they are, and they'll use their drones to spot you and just drop mortars on you and stuff like that. But if they're hiding at the back of the map, you go to this laptop, you know exactly where they are, and you go and mow them down. So
is it a snipe fest?
Look, it can
or does
be.
That get taken out because you've got certain classes. Like is everyone's secondary a sniper rifle?
You can, if you wish. You can take. Okay. Anyone can take in a standard sniper rifle, but only one player is allowed to choose the sniper rifle class.
Okay.
Yeah. So look, I didn't find that it was too ridiculous with snipers. But it can be. There probably was a couple of occasions where that was occurring. But overall, the game is fantastic because the day-night cycle is there. Some of your matches will be at night time, and you've got to use night vision. That's pretty cool when you're awesome, running around only using night vision. And if there's lights, you can shoot them out so it doesn't give you too much glare in your night vision.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, real good. And you can mark your enemies, but if you get marked, but you take cover and break line of sight, you being marked, it disappears. So it's really good. And there've been occasions where I've been running in the dark and ran straight past an enemy, and I went, what the fuck was that? Turned around, turned my night vision on, and fuck, and fired, took them down. It's actually really good. So it's coming pretty soon, in about just under 2 weeks. And nice. I was thinking about grabbing another copy on the Xbox just so I can maximise the amount of people I can play with, because it's only like $35 physical copy these days. Ghost Recon.
Sure, that's all right.
Yeah, so
it's definitely a lot of game. If anyone hasn't played it, it's a lot of game for $35.
I think so too. A lot of people bag it out, say it's one of the worst Ghost Recon games ever. Look, might be the case. I've never been a massive Ghost Recon fan, But for me, I enjoyed Wildlands. I loved it.
Did you end up platinuming it?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Well, see, both of us have platinumed it, so it can't be that bad.
No. Not a bad game. Fortnite. PUBG. Last night. So we
how is that on a lawsuit?
I know. We played
Although I
Fortnite
think
last
it might
night.
be coming.
Well, I think it is. I think they are kicking up a stink. They are doing the blue hole or whatever they're called from PUBG. They are. I think they are kicking up a stink about Fortnite's Battle Royale, is what they're calling it. And it is a blatant copy of PUBG, to the point where even when it's a 100-player game, which is what PUBG is, a 100-player game. You start the map by going into like this sort of loading area. Yeah, where everyone is.
You're all waiting around for the party bus to take off.
Yeah, exactly like it does in PUBG. Then the party bus, which is a bus with like a blimp, a hot air balloon thing on top, takes you, and then you fly across the map and you press the button when you want to jump out, just like in PUBG. And then you skydive to the ground, exactly like in PUBG. And then you land and you go and you collect weapons, med kits, blah, 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 just like PUBG. Point of difference, in Fortnite, you can cut down trees and build things. You can build your own cover, build your own buildings. Not that it mattered for us, because we kind of died before any of that was useful. But it is just a flat-out copy. Yeah, we did suck. But we were noobs. We were massive noobs, didn't we?
we were shown up for just how noob.
Yeah, no big deal. But anyway, it's free. I don't know if it's just a free beta, or if it's going to be free forever, or if they're going to eventually take it off and make it part of the Fortnite thing that you have to buy. I don't know.
Wasn't Fortnite supposed to be free eventually?
Maybe you're just buying the early access packs. Yeah, maybe. I'm not too sure, because I'm not, haven't been around it. But yeah, so I don't really have much more to say about that. We died. We didn't play it for very long because we sort of, I got frustrated with it and pulled the pin and went to bed.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll mention, just a quick mention. Cheers to Stick Figure and the Down Under Gaming guys and the Xbox and Chill podcast. They invited me on the other night, impromptu, just said, hey, do you want to come and do the podcast? We're starting in an hour.
Yeah, the ring-in, yeah.
Yeah, they were just short, I think, of just walking down the street and grabbing the bum. And they opted for me. So I went and did the podcast with them, and I've got to tell you, it's a rip snorter. Jeez, it's a fun episode. I had a really good time doing it. That is a great podcast to check out. They stream it live when they're doing it, and then after it's done, you can watch it on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, I don't know, all different places and stuff. But go and check it out. Just jump on YouTube and search Xbox and Chill. And and you can follow them on Twitter as well. Search it up on there. It's a great podcast. I'm not just plugging it because I'm on it. I actually do listen to the podcast. It's actually really good. They're cool guys on there. Stick Figure's been on our show as well. If you go back a few episodes, Stick Figure was our special guest. I want to get Mega Bad Seed. I want to get him on this show probably after the expo, once everything starts to calm down and I can organise special guests again. But yeah, we'll get Mega Bad Seed on next. And I reckon it'll be a good show. So yeah, check it out. Xbox and Chill. It's on iTunes, YouTube. Go. Do it now. Listen to the rest of this and then do it.
Then do it, yeah. Listen to us first, then go and listen to them.
That's right. Right, so that's my week, man. What about yours?
Mine's been a little bit standard with a few little things thrown in there. So start off with one of my usuals, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yep.
So jumped on that with a few different people. So I think there was Red, there was Jason, there was I think Pig was there as well, and a random. And being that it's quite topical at the moment, I was the receiver of my first ever hate message.
Oh, did you? From Siege?
From Siege.
Oh, do tell.
Do tell. So the message was pretty standard. You suck at this game. You're an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Thank you for taking the time to write to me. I just deleted it and moved on.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it, though, so they've taken the time out of their day to write me this message, which really was whatever. The funny thing about it, I was having a pretty shocking night. So the boys over at Relentless Controllers have ruined me because the modified controller that I had been using was out of power this night. And because I couldn't be bothered to move, the 5 feet to go and get a cable to plug it in, I just used one of my controllers that was charged, which is just a standard PS4 controller. And kept grabbing the back of it, looking for the duck button. The aiming didn't feel quite, nothing felt right. It was just shocking. And just, I was just having a terrible day. So this last particular game that we played with this guy, I was the last one still alive.
Right.
In this particular round, I had 3 kills out of 5. Ain't that bad. So I'm the last one left alive. There was 2 players on the other team left alive. And admittedly, if I was on the ball, I would have made a different decision.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, so I got dropped.
Yeah.
So what? It's just a game. We're playing casual, not ranked. Whatever. And then I get this message saying that I suck at this game, I should never play again, and that I'm a complete and utter idiot. So thank you very much, mate. Thanks for taking your time out of your day and make me feel loved.
Did your team kill him in the next round?
That was the last round.
Oh.
So if there was another round, that's exactly what would have happened. And I think considering that four out of the 5 people were in a chat party together, I reckon there would have been 4 bullets coming his way.
Yeah.
So that was a fun night.
What is wrong with people like that?
I don't understand it. The bit that I don't understand, okay, if I was having a shocker compared to what I usually do, and I was swearing at myself, but the fact is that I didn't drop first, he did.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
So where's the lines here? Like,
is it the people? Like, do you think maybe there's people like this that they copped a message like that last week and then maybe thought, oh, well, fuck it, I'm going to do the same thing to the next guy that looks crap.
Oh, like, could be, mate. This is one of those things where I don't. Like I said, I've never been the antagonizer. Like I've never been the person to do it. I retaliate. I do not deny that at all. Usually I do retaliate, and I was debating whether to have a go at this bloke, but I just left it. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand whether it's because they've had a bad day at school or work or whatever. They're fighting with someone and venting that frustration in an anonymous name, because literally it's an anonymous name on a screen.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if that person was in front of me, do you really think they'd arc up?
No. You're like 18 feet tall.
Yeah, it's I just don't. That's why it doesn't. That's one of the reasons I don't do it, because I don't understand why you need to.
Yeah. Well, look, I condemn it, and to the point where I won't tolerate anybody who carries on like that. And if I have,
it's just a game.
No. If I have the power to, I'll do something about it. If it's just a random that we don't know or whatever, obviously we're never going to see them again. There's no point. Just let that one go through the keeper. But if I were to, just an example, if I were to ever hear anybody that I knew doing something like that, the hate messages of you should fucking kill yourself and all that sort of stuff, I'd have some serious words with that person, because I'd take personal issue on that.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't directed at me.
Yeah, well, luckily our group of friends are...
No, none of our mates are like that.
None of our mates would do it. I don't think I've really got a mate that would really rage. Well, we all rage to a certain point, but never, at another person. So
No. Look, there's frustrations. There's like, oh god, you suck. There's all that sort of banter, but none of it's ever serious. Like, fuck Snoogs. Yeah, fuck playing with you. You're shit. You're terrible. Stop playing this game. Get out of the. That's horrible. To think that some people do speak to their friends like that. Disgusting. Anyway.
Yes. So that was Siege. Funnily enough, I have been back on there, and I did my dailies, and I ended up being the top of the tree on more than one occasion. Yet again, it was just, yeah. I think I'm spoiled with the controller.
I've got to do my dailies. My wife's away for the weekend. I've got dailies to do too, like fucking washing the clothes, the dishes, making dinner for myself. Sucks, man.
So mine was do 5 headshot terrorists. Yeah.
I don't even get any engrams.
Well, that's the next big one, Destiny 2. For me, I completely understand where you're at with it. Me, though, it's got its claws into me.
Yeah, but you've got an addictive personality. For somebody that doesn't smoke, though. Addictive personality.
My addictive personality is, I've spoken about the little things in games. That's where I get intrigued. I like using my brain a little bit differently and working out that nitty gritty stuff. So I'm up to, I think, 278 light level now on my main character.
Yep. On
the box, I'm still punching through the storyline. I punched through it a bit more with Greggio last night after we jumped off.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm just sort of punching through it, doing a bit of this, bit of that, just leveling up, but starting to actually build the character more into, like my Titan, for instance, more into a team-based Titan. So where others are building more of a healer sort of class, or that sort of variant. I can't remember the actual wording for it at the moment. Mine's more the aggressive out the front. So I've got quick regen on my excuse me, quick regen on my grenades, for instance. I've got the big smash special, and these are all little things where they're subcategories within your gear.
Yeah.
And then once you get to level 280, you can actually start to modify it.
Yes.
So that's where I'm pushing. I'm pushing for 280 because the amount of mods that I have sitting there waiting to go.
I know, same.
It's I can't wait to actually get into it and just do those little tweaks and see how they work.
Nice.
So yeah, that's on the cards for me. Some more Project Cars 2. Just been running around, not doing really all that much with it. Just playing through a bit more of the career mode and just sort of trying to find the level that I'm at where I'm not smashing the races and I'm not being smashed in the races. I'm trying to find that happy medium where it's competitive for both sides.
Yep.
So that's that's where I'm sitting at with that. And I think that's about it for the standard stuff.
What's not standard?
What's not standard? Well, we've got 2 more. So 1 Xbox exclusive, 1 PlayStation exclusive. That I've had my greasy little hands on this week. So We'll start off with the Xbox exclusive, and that would be Cuphead.
Yes, Cuphead. I kind of left that.
Yes, I noticed that you left it, but that's all right because I can talk about it some more as well. Cuphead is... I tell you, there's one thing I want to say straight off the bat that I'm not happy with.
Ooh,
I understand why it's done like that, and I completely respect why it's done like that. I just prefer that it wasn't.
Oh, what are you talking about?
The grain overlay.
Oh, okay.
So it's there's been a lot of talk about how it's designed and how Cuphead's been made. Every frame's been hand drawn in the old Disney style.
So is it a grain effect, or is that just the effect of that technique, though?
I actually think it's an overlaying effect because it even during the load screens when it's black, it's still got that
Yeah, and I was going to say, I noticed that on the title screen when it's got your in the top right hand corner, you can change the profile. So I've got Luke 1 logged in. Yeah, the user. The overlay, like the effect, is on top of that as well. So which makes me think that it is an effect laid over the top rather than a genuine effect of the technique used.
Yeah. So I just think because it is such a I love the old Disney cartoons, and I love that style of drawing and the way the animation is done. So when you're standing still, they're standing there bobbing up and down.
Yeah.
And it's all very, very much done in that sort of era style. So I would have loved to have seen it just in all its glory. I understand why the grain effect's there.
It'd be good to turn it off.
Yeah, it'd be good to just switch it off and just
look at the
vibrant colours.
I like it. I like the effect.
Don't get me wrong, it works. It really does. I just would have liked to have seen it without it as well.
Nice increase.
But it's... I don't know where a lot of people are claiming that it's so hard.
See, what have you played? So what have you done so far?
So I've done the tutorial.
Yep.
I've destroyed the first boss in the veggie garden.
Which is like the carrot and the potato or whatever?
The potato and the carrot, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
And
I've done that one.
I did one other one, which is when you first walk in, it was a red target. And I think it's called Run and Gun.
Is that the one? Where there's like
things will drop down out of the sky. Things run at you. You got to jump over logs. There's little things running on the logs.
Little things running on the logs. Oh, is that? That's not the one with the woodpecker in it, is it?
I don't remember seeing a woodpecker.
What does the boss look like?
I don't know.
No, I think when it's. I think when it says run and gun, I think that says that it's like when the level starts, sort of like let's go. It's like run and gun. Like it's. I think that says that a few times because I've seen run and gun before, but I don't know what one you're talking about. Because I think I think
it's the first one. So you walk across a little, like you walk down out of the house. There's the bridge with the little dude on it. There's a shop.
Yeah.
On the like if you were looking at it, it's on the right hand side, and then to the left is this is where this little thing was to start.
Oh, is it just a boss? It's not a level?
No, it's a level.
Oh.
The boss was the one further down, which was the potato and then the carrot.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a little. I'm getting confused. I'm not sure, but anyway. Yeah, look, from the one that you used, the first one you said, I've done that one. Trust me, those ones are easy.
I expected that, but it just seems to be that it's a throwback in visual style and it's a throwback in gameplay style as well. Oh, so it's all about timing.
It is. Look, Cuphead and I have already forged a relationship, and it's very much love-hate. I love platformers. I really do. And this Cuphead has brilliant controls. There's one thing that throws me off is the parry and the dash, because I just feel like it should have a double jump, but the double pressing the jump button is the parry. Yeah, so it just like sticks your foot out and does like a kick, and you can only parry pink things that are on the level. But the controls are tight. They feel really responsive.
They're brilliant, aren't they? They're spot on. Which is exactly for something that moves that quick. It's what's needed. And
you can equip 2 different attacks, so you can have, and you can upgrade these attacks, which is really cool. So you can have like your standard shooter, which is fast, rapid fire, and does a moderate amount of damage. Or you can get one that I've upgraded to, which is you don't need to aim. It's like a homing bullet. The green ones, but it doesn't do as much damage. And then there's another one that's short range, but does crazy good damage. And you've got to equip these. There's 2 of those that you can equip at the start. You can also equip a perk. and I've added the perk to give me an extra hit point. Because you start off with 3 hit points. Basically, you can get hit 3 times and you're dead. I've upgraded that to 4. And then you can also add a super, which I don't have any of those yet. But these are all really cool things that mix it up. And when you've got your 2 different attacks, you're firing, you switch basically real rapidly. You can switch between them using the left bumper. And it gets to the point where, depending on the boss, you might be able to get up and close and personal with some of the bosses. So I'll switch to my close and personal powerful one and just keep hammering them. And then when the time comes and I've got to move away, switch to my green homing bullets and move away and just keep shooting. So I might be jumping and concentrating on avoiding things, that projectiles, things are being thrown at me. But I'm holding down the shoot button the whole time, not even paying attention to where I'm aiming, and I'm still hitting the enemy, as opposed to not hitting them at all. So I'm doing a little bit of damage. And it's that gets you through. And, mate, so far, I've only played it a little bit. I'm loving it. She's a brutal bitch, and I rage quit it once already.
I haven't rage quit it yet.
Yeah, I did.
I've started to feel the frustration growing, but it's more frustration at myself than frustration at the game, because you can pick up what you need to do, and it's just, okay, let's do it. And then, I get memories of Alex the Kid, really.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll give you a reenactment of my rage moment if you like.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me just back up from the microphone a bit here. Are you kidding? Why is it so hard? It's the beginning of the game, for Christ's sake. Does that sound like me?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah, spot on. And then followed by holding down the Xbox home button, turn console off.
Yeah. I can just imagine that.
I've only played it for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I had about 20 minutes or so before the show.
But in this time that I've managed to fall in love with the game, as well as rage quit. That's what's happened
Fall
in the
love
first...
and then out of love, all in an hour.
No, I still love it. I still want to go back and play it more.
Just want to punch it in the mouth occasionally.
I just want to punch it. We should mention the story. I actually like the idea of the story.
Yeah. Do you want to mention it, or should we just leave it? Leave it for people to figure out.
It makes sense. Look, the title of the game is Cuphead. What is it? Don't play with the devil?
Don't deal with the devil.
Don't deal with the devil. That's right. It's an Yeah, we'll leave it. It's a cool little introduction to the story, which makes
very cool how it's done. Makes
everything you're doing make a lot of sense. And I guess it's not going to be an Academy Award or anything, but it's neat, and it gives a good little undertone to the sort of old school childish looking game. Gives it a nice little bit of darkness. I like it. I like the art style, like the animation, love the controls.
It's all brilliant. So far, it's spot on from me. I'm enjoying it.
Early days. This isn't a final review. There'll be a review put up on the YouTube channel in the coming days. But, yeah, it's looking good. Bloody hell. Cuphead, who would have known? I remember I played this game about 3 years ago. Did you know that?
I remember you saying something about it a little while ago.
Yeah, they had maybe 2 years ago, EB Games Expo. They just had it on one of their kiosks, just on. Nobody was playing it because nobody knew what the hell it was. And I played it and just got my ass handed to me by the boss and went, this game's too hard, whatever. Didn't even know what it was back then. And here it is, 2-3 years later, finally getting released. I think it's working for him though. I think it's looking good.
It does. Looks fantastic.
Oh,
so that's for that. And so last but definitely not least, this week I got invited to go and try out.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry, just lost my train there.
Choo-woo!
Choo-woo! All right, so this week I got to try out a upcoming release from Sony, being GT Sport.
Right.
So I was lucky enough when I went. It was only a quick review build. It wasn't the final build for the game. So again, I couldn't get into all the nitty gritty. I did ask. When I first got there, everyone was like, "All right, sweet, I'm playing." I'm like, well, I played probably 30, 40 hours of the beta. I don't need to know how it drives. I kind of already know how it drives. So cool, hand me the controller and let's go and have a look at everything. So I actually got to sit down with one of the guys from Sony and go through it all, and he showed me through the livery editor. So it now has a livery editor as well.
Yep.
The difference is being that it's polyphony, they're ridiculously anal about perfection. So in the livery editor, it has a lot more actually sponsored liveries. So you've got things like PlayStation Access, IGN, GameSpot, all those big companies that are on there, and a whole lot of others, and of course, the whole plethora of stuff from the motor racing world. And you've got all your shapes and whatnot, so you can build your own liveries for your cars. And you do this all in 4K with this absolutely stunning looking car that looks like it should be on the showroom floor, not on your TV screen.
Oh, nice. So it looks good.
Oh, it looks absolutely phenomenal. We've always seen in the past polyphony when they release a GT game, it takes a long time to come out because they are perfectionists, and they're perfectionists on the way the visuals work. So when you actually have a look at the car, you can see the grain in the dash. You can see stitching in the leather seats. The car is immaculately recreated both inside and outside. So it's and of course all in 4K. These were running all on pros, and it absolutely looked phenomenal. So I got to play with the livery editor for a bit, and then I also got to do some photography stuff. So you go into a photo mode. You pick what you want to do. So I went and found the Nürburgring.
Yep.
And there's so many different places that you can pick. You can pick different tracks. You can pick, put it underneath the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing this.
Yeah, and so that you've got all these different places that you can pick from, which is a 4K photo, and then you put your car into it. And so you pick this car. So I've picked the Nürburgring. I've put a filter on it. I turn the headlights on. I put it on a corner. I turn the tyres so that they looked like they were turning into the corner. I did a few other little bits and pieces and changed the focal point and did everything that you can actually do with a camera.
Yeah.
And took this photo. And so what it does is it comes up and you hit shoot to take photo, and the screen will go blank and it comes up rendering. And then you get this picture that, oh my God, it looks like you've just taken this shot on the side of the track.
Yeah, I've seen some examples. They didn't let you take the photo with you?
No. Well, to be honest, I didn't even try and ask. If I'd had a USB, I probably would have tried. But I might actually hit them up because I did save it. So
but yeah, I've seen some examples where you can move it around. It's a 2D 4K photo. You're putting it in, but you can move the car around, and the car sort of looks like it's in a 3D area, though. Yeah.
So when it renders in, it goes the way that the programming is done. It actually puts it in the photo, so it does all the Photoshop work for you. And
yeah, that's awesome.
It just comes out looking like you've actually just taken that shot yourself. So and you've got the full range of photography options and whatnot. So you've got different focal lengths, different shutter speeds, lighting effects, different filters. It's really actually quite in depth.
Good.
I then went and so I played around with that for a little bit, did a few different ones there. I had a look through some of the career mode stuff. There wasn't a lot available on that build at the time, and I couldn't get into the nitty-gritty to have a look at the car setups or anything there. So the big point of difference at this point in time is the difference between GT Sport and previous GT titles. You're not going to have the 1,200 plus cars that we've had previously.
Doesn't bother me terribly.
Yeah, so you're not going to have to start off, driving the Daihatsu Charade around to try and make yourself up a bit of money in the career mode. So, yeah, you're pretty much jumping straight in and getting stuck into it. The reason it's called Sport is there is actually an online FIA accredited racing championship.
Yeah,
so
I know about that. Yeah.
Anyone in the world can get on there and do the racing and have the ability to, go to get taken to events all around the world just because you're extremely good at racing on GT Sport.
That's cool. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, so the way that it's being done is they're treating it the same way that they would treat, say, F1 or the World Rally Championship.
Wow.
So you get you get the same sort of accolades. I don't know money. I don't know money or anything like that, whether that's involved or whether it's just a celebration. But the celebration is there. So that's pretty cool. Played with a few other little bits and pieces there. The traditional GT sound when you click on something still there, which I thought was a cool little feature. They haven't changed that. And then I got to try VR.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Now, I'm still against the fact that you can't play the entire game in VR. If you could do the entire career mode, just make it offline, but do the entire career mode. If you could do that in VR, then that'd be me done. That's all I'd play. There'd be a VR headset sitting next to me, and that would be me done. But I got to jump in the Nissan GTR GT3 car.
Yep.
And then I got to go and throw it around Mount Panorama.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh no, it's not cool. It's, excuse the language, it's fucking phenomenal.
Fair enough.
Oh mate, I got off it, so it was just a little test. So I got off after I did 2 laps around Bathurst, and then I think 4 laps around some pommy track. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm.
But yeah, so 2 laps around Bathurst in the GTR. I did beat every other car on the track by a long way. They did still leave some of the assists on because really, if I'd gotten stuck into it and started setting quick lap times, they would have never got me off. And so I just said, look, just leave the assists, leave some of the assists on. So I think I turned off the steering assist. They still had braking assist on, which was a pain. And I changed it to manual from auto. But you just left everything else on and went absolutely nuts. And it felt like the real thing. And the fact that VR still, even the amount of VR that I've played now, it still has this effect where it makes me think that I'm moving.
Yeah, the false G-forces.
Oh, I got by the time I got off, so literally, say 10 minutes, maybe 12, I was aching. So the sides of my calf muscles, and it's like especially after Mount Panorama, because I was going as flat stick as I possibly could, and coming down off the mountain. I'd be, because you're not strapped in or anything, so your body knows this. So my legs were taking the tension. So every time I was turning into the corners as I was coming down the hill, I'd think there was a G-force on me.
Yeah.
And I'd be tensing up my legs and trying to make sure that I wasn't getting thrown out. But absolutely fantastic. It still does take a step down in graphical fidelity, but who cares? It still looks fantastic. It's still high def-y. It's just not 4K. But it looks fantastic. It ran smoothly. It sounded phenomenal. And the fact that it was in VR and I'm sitting there, I'm looking into the corners, I'm feeling the G-forces. It was an experience that you can't go past. Really. You've got to do it at least once.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I've got to get this steering wheel rig. Yeah, I've got to get this steering wheel rig sorted.
Yeah, so I was telling a few people there, it's all right. I've got the force feedback wheel, and you've got the VR headset. So either way, we'll be giving it a good crack.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get it going.
And and so I did get to do a few races in true 4K as well, which again looked phenomenal. No screen tipping, no screen skipping, I should say. I've noticed in a few races over the years a really bad problem with tearing when you turn into a corner.
Yeah.
There was none of that. Nothing. It ran beautifully. It looked fantastic. It's it drove like a driving game does. So, and again, I can't really speculate on a lot of it because I have only just touched the surface really.
Can you say what looks better, Forza or GT?
GT.
Oh.
Yep. It's very close, but again, it could be something as simple as I've played GT on a Pro, I've played Forza on a Standard.
Maybe.
It could be something as simple as that. They could be on par. But yeah, just that the car has a certain glimmer about it, I suppose is the easiest way to put it.
Okay.
Just the way that things reflect off it and the damage, because there was a few times when I decided to see, it's the second race that I raced around the Pommy track was only a very little one, but I decided to use the Corvette, so a big rear-wheel drive V8, and I just threw it because I wanted to get that sense of drifting, so I threw it into every corner and the sound out of it, and I did a bit of damage to it as well. So.
Oh, well, if I get the chance because that's the only game I haven't played now is GT Sport, but I should be able to get hands on with that at the EBA Games Expo. I've also played Forza 7 on an Xbox One X, so I should be able to compare. Actually, you'll probably be able to play them all at the Expo as well, and we'll all be able to compare after we've done that.
Exactly, sounds good. And that's it for me.
That's
a little bit there. Yeah, that's it.
All right, awesome, good stuff for the week. All right, well then let's move on to video game news. Alright, first up in this week's news, we've got Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer. It was nearly a year ago when Rockstar first teased what was later revealed to be we didn't know at the time, prequel to Red Dead Redemption. There was plenty of speculation that Red Dead Redemption 2 would be a prequel, and this latest trailer shows that is the case. Now, there are some familiar faces in there, and just enough detail in there to work out what's going on, but it is a little bit cryptic because it's not completely obvious. But some people are thinking that there's Jack Marston with his mother in there, Abigail Marston. But it's spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, if you haven't played the first Red Dead Redemption, maybe skip ahead the next 30 seconds or so. But Abigail Marston, she dies at the end of the first one. So it's... John
dies, doesn't he?
Yes, but so does... he's the the mother. Abigail Marston also dies. And she's buried next to John. So if it was them, then it would be a sequel, because Jack is a little bit older, who people are saying might be Jack, is a little bit older, it would make it a sequel. But if it was a sequel, then the mother wouldn't be there, if that's who that person is.
Yeah, because there was one particular line in the trailer that was a bloke talking to who I thought was Jack, saying that your mother's still mourning your father, and then there was the mother at the gravesite. Yes,
that's what initially made me think sequel. But yeah, I did some research for this, obviously, and apparently it's not 100% sure who that is. The game's a prequel, and apparently Abigail, I don't remember it as such. I'm only going off the research I did. Abigail died at the end in the end game, like after the end of the game when you're actually playing as Jack.
Okay, so, I don't remember that bit.
I don't either, but double referenced it. I saw it in one place, checked it in another. It all checked out. So, I don't know. If I'm incorrect, let me know. Post it on the pinned post. Or if I'm correct, even let me know. But the trailer is up on the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page. Have a look, or just hit up YouTube. It's pretty much available everywhere now. It kind of went a bit viral, I guess. But there are some naysayers out there going, is that it? Is that all we're getting? What do you mean?
That's what you get.
What do you... If you expected more than what we got, then you need to pay a little bit more attention to marketing and the video game industry, because this game's not due for probably another 12 months. I reckon this is going to be this time next year. If not, maybe...
it's going to be bumped out? It's supposed to be autumn next year.
Mate,
I know it says spring. I know it says spring on the trailer, but that's US spring, which is our autumn.
Oh, look, I'm reckon it's later. I reckon it's going to be later.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if it's this time next year. But even saying that, we're a while away from the game being released. They're not going to show, and this is Rockstar we're talking about. They're not going to show gameplay. No way.
Anything.
They won't show anything. They will keep this under wraps as long as possible. See what happened with Grand Theft Auto 5? We got screenshots. That's what they gave us. They gave us screenshots. We got nothing.
And how many million people still play it?
Yeah.
All we know is it's going to be good. And it's just...
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I still wish it was a sequel, though. Not a prequel.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred a sequel. I don't really care. I think I'll like it either way. It looks great. Yeah, so anyway, that's out. Go and have a look at it if you haven't seen it yet. It's available everywhere. Moving on, next in the news, a real-life platinum trophy. Would you like an actual platinum trophy in your hands?
Do you even have to ask that question?
I don't think there'd be many people that wouldn't want one.
Oh, I'm just looking at it going, okay, so what games are they doing? How quick, how much time do I need to take off work to try and get through this quick enough to get one?
A lot. Anyway, PlayStation has brought the ultimate in virtual accolades to life, crafting only 4 specially made platinum trophies. These limited edition replicas will give 4 passionate players, 4 people in the world, utmost bragging rights at being crowned the nation's best completionist. So to win, players must complete all in-game accomplishments to unlock the platinum trophy. So you've got to get all the trophies for a specific title. Once the players achieve all in-game trophies and receive the platinum digital trophy, they must snap a screenshot using the share button and upload it across Facebook or Twitter, tagging at PlayStation AU and using the hashtag +PlatinumHunters. Now, the first game on the list is FIFA 18. Oh, dear. Those FIFA games are notoriously stupidly hard to platinum. So, if you can be the recipient of this trophy, you fucking deserve it. The second one, Snoogs, is GT Sport. I wonder if that counts for people who get early review copies. That's not really fair, is it?
I don't care. I'm still going.
Give it a try. And the third
I'll
one...
have a crack at that one.
Yeah, give it a go. The third one is Call of Duty World War II, which is probably the easiest one, if going off history. Call of Duty games haven't been too hard to get, although if there's a zombies mode, they're usually really hard to get those trophies. The final game, so that's 3, the final game for the final trophy will be announced at a later date, so I don't know what that one will be. If you want more information on this awesome trophy and want some pictures of it, head to www.aussiegamersexpress.com. There's a post on there all about it, so go and check it out. 4 trophies in real life. Me, I might just go and buy myself a 3D.
Knockoff.
Yeah, Chinese knockoff, or the 3D printer, or just buy it on eBay for $16 million when one of the 4 sells it. Yeah, no. Someone will make a knockoff.
Yeah.
3D print it.
You'd never sell it, would you? that'd be
I wouldn't.
that's
I don't
that's
care.
bragging rights for life.
Yeah, I don't care if what it was going for and what dire straits I was in money wise. I couldn't. That's not something you could sell. Yeah. No, I'd sell my firstborn child first. All right, so that's there. Go and check it out. Moving on. Next bit of news is the PlayStation Plus games for October, as well as the Xbox games with gold lineup as well. We've got that. So we'll go through the PlayStation ones first. Metal Gear Solid 5 for the PlayStation 4. What do you reckon? That's not bad, eh?
That's a big one, that one.
It is a big one. Look, I mean, people like myself, I already have it, but it's still nice that big games like that are coming. I think I've got a physical copy anyway, so now I'll have it digitally, which is really cool.
Yeah, well, that's my theory. I've got it physical, so...
Yeah, so it's handy. The Amnesia Collection, that's pretty cool. I've actually been wanting to play those games. They're not too bad. They're like those atmospheric walking simulator, scare the shit out of you kind of games that you love.
Yep.
Then there's Monster Jam Battlegrounds for the PS3. I don't know what that is. There's Hustle Kings. Hue?
Isn't Hustle Kings a free-to-play game anyway on the PS4? Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Maybe it's only just come out on the PS3. There's a game called Hue, which Stickfigure briefly mentioned when he was on the show. That's coming to PlayStation Vita, cross-buy with PS4, so it'll be available on both. And Skyforce Anniversary, which is also Vita, PS3 and PS4. So that's the lineup there for PlayStation Plus subscribers there, and I think that's a good month. Good month for PS4. How
much longer do you think they'll be supporting the PS3?
They'll support what you mean, PS Plus, or just in general?
With PS Plus really. Because you can't buy any new games.
No, with PS Plus, they'll support it indefinitely until PS5, probably.
Okay.
There's no reason why they wouldn't. Like, I mean, it's kind of like just a thing to say, hey, this is something we're giving away for free. I don't think it makes any difference to them anymore.
Because it's gotten to the point where I don't even bother buying them anymore. My PS3 I do still have, but it's my Blu-ray player.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have a PS3 set. Actually, I do have a PS3 set up. That's how long it's been since I used it. I forgot it was there. It's in standby too. I should turn it off. It's probably been on for the last 2 years, just eating up electricity for nothing. But yeah, I don't think they'll discontinue it until at least the PS5.
Okay.
Now the Xbox games with gold lineup. What do we got here? So the first one I've got here is Gone Home, the console edition. That'll be available from October 1 to 31st, so the whole month of October. That one is, I think we've already had that on the PlayStation. Another one of those kind of eerie walking simulator games.
But actually a pretty cool story.
Yeah, I found it quite boring. It probably is. It probably does develop, but didn't hold me long enough to get there. The Turing Test, whatever that is. That's October.
I'm actually a little intrigued about that one. A little excited too.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't know much about it myself, but October 16 to November 15. So you got to wait to mid-October for that one.
So it's a first-person puzzle game.
Yeah.
So it was very much like that. It reminds me. Do you remember Cube?
Yeah.
I think it was called Cube. Yeah, with a Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, same sort of thing. So you're on you're in a space station that is on one of the moons of Jupiter.
Oh.
And yeah, it's a first-person puzzler. So looks pretty intriguing. Looks like it's got a bit of a spooky element to it as well.
Yeah, nice. Sounds good. I'll definitely check that out then. Next one, Rayman 3 HD, which is available from the 1st of October to the 15th, and that's on Xbox One and 360 backwards compatibility thing. And the last one they've got is Medal of Honor Airborne, which is the 16th of October to the 31st. Both Xbox One and 360. That's a back compat game.
Cool.
So there you go. That's both those lineups there for Xbox and PlayStation. Where's the PC free games every month? Oh, that's right. They cost $1 at Humble Bundle whenever you want. Alright, that's it for video game news. Let's move into user-created content. Alright, so for user-created content, dude, it was my birthday this week.
It was level up day.
Yay, happy level up day to me.
And you didn't spend your skill point on the right thing.
No, I haven't spent it yet.
You should have spent it on recovery.
I should have. I absolutely should have. I haven't spent it on anything yet. But after the next day, because I got home at 2 o'clock in the morning the following day after going out for my birthday, I was out the whole day. I was laying on the lounge. The recovery time was shocking. Yeah. But anyway, I put up a post for user-created content this week saying, how would you spend your ultimate gaming-themed birthday? And as usual, I'll give a quick shout-out to everybody that liked the post, so bear with me. There's a shit ton of them. All right, we got Stephen Buttigieg, David Stradere, Ross Mark, Ari Carl Halami, Fezza Manor, James Pearson, Leah Brett Gabart, Dave Harris, Daniel D. Ian Pegg, Dan Scott, Stephen Batten, Shannon Gilbert, Paul David Clennett, Mitch James, bitch, Scott Warren, Brendan Lambert, Sean Smith, James DeGraff, Caroline Lynch, Belinda Crawford, Josh Woods, Jeremy Merchant, and Adam Ryle. Thank you very much for everyone for liking that post. Right, and we had, well, look, the majority of people just wished me happy birthday, which is really cool, but I'll go through all of the comments. Adam Ryle's first up there, saying happy level up day. Thanks, man, thanks for the well wishes. Then we've got Kyle Kazza-Williams, says Lamb Party. Lamb Party be the ultimate birthday celebration for him, so that I wouldn't mind that myself, actually.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
Be cool through the day, and then eventually you get more and more drunk, and then probably turn the computer off before you spill your beer or something on the keyboard. Kyle also says happy birthday to me too, so cheers for that. Caroline Lynch says happy level up day, Lucas, with a balloon. Oh, it's a red balloon. In the current climate, that's a bit spooky. But then there's a smiley face after it, and it's not a clown. So thanks, Caroline. Appreciate that. Tyler Schofield says, happy birthday, mate. Darcy Moon, happy birthday, mate. I think he just copy and pasted the dude above him. Mm-hmm. Tyler Short says, happy level up day, Lucas, with an AOK symbol, and says, have an epic day, with what looks like an ice cream cone with stuff fizzling out of it. But I think that's a birthday party hat, or something like that. I don't know. Emojis.
Party popper. Let's call it a party popper.
Let's call it a party popper. Paul David Clennett says, happy old fart day. Cheers, man. And he also says, paintball in a Nuketown arena, followed by a beer and a steak dinner. Not to take anything away from anybody else's comment, if I had to give a winner,
done.
That sounds like a fucking... That sounds like a good day. Does sound like a good day. Paintball in Nuketown, that would be sick. And a beer and a steak dinner.
There's actually a different type of paintball that I wanted to do. It's archery.
Oh, archery paintball?
Yeah, have you seen that? So
yeah.
You've got the bow and arrow with the paint tipped arrow.
Yes, I've seen that.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Shannon Gilbert says, happy level up day, Lucas. Thank you. So many nice people wishing me well. James Pearson says, happy birthday, mate. And he follows on by saying, would love to know yours, Snoogs, and your guests' thoughts on early releases for special editions of games. Example, FIFA 18 was given out 4 days earlier to those who pre-ordered the deluxe version. I'll give you my opinion on that. That's fucking shit. I don't like that. I think give it early to those who pre-order the game, not to those who pre-order the deluxe version. That's like rewarding people because they're rich. They're already rich and can afford the stupidly expensive version. Why should they get it 4 days earlier than everybody else who's going to support you by buying your bloody game, but because they can't afford the extra $50, $60, $70 on top, they get it. They have to wait the extra few days. I don't like it. What do you think?
While I'm with you, in one aspect of it, the other aspect is I think it's a good thing because it's actually something physical that is given back for, pre-ordering. I don't like the idea of pre-ordering a game and getting a gun that you like for instance, you pre-ordered COD, you get this special edition gun that you're going to use for the first 20 minutes, and then it's something else. So having it as a pre-order bonus, like you said, yeah. But the special editions, yeah, when you're paying, $150 for a game, then that's getting a bit steep.
Yeah, I think it's a good pre-order thing, but it should be pre-ordering the game. Like, thank all of your supporters by giving them that. Don't just do it to the rich ones that can blow that kind of coin. No, that's my opinion of it. There's no guest, though. Who can you ask? I think I've just asked my special guest, who's sitting right next to me. He's invisible, and he agrees with me. Thanks, Mr. Meeseeks.
Mr. Meeseeks.
No worries, Luke. All right, Fezza Manor says, happy birthday, legend. Have a good one. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Oh, Fezza Manor, he's always comes up with some really kind things to say. He's a good bloke. And Stephen Buttergig says, happy birthday. Have a great levelling up day from all of us here in Mara. That's a lovely part of the world, that place. It's either 450 degrees Celsius in summer or minus 450 degrees in winter. It's a good place. You should visit there.
I heard the road out's pretty good.
Yeah. It is. You know what? It's actually the same road out as it is in, but fuck, it feels smoother on the way out. Oh, shit. I shouldn't say that. It's not too bad a place. All right. Well, that's it. That's quite a shortened user-created content for this week, but I guess that's okay because we've got heaps of games to play. So let's move to the next segment, which is What's That Sound? All right, Snoogs, last week we had a What's That Sound, and I had no idea what it was. I don't think you knew what it was, and it was Brendan Browny Brown, wasn't it? That
Browny threw a name out there. I took a blind stab in the dark, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he had it. But anyway, let's have a quick listen to it. Anyway, it's a really long one, but that was the beginning of it. And Brownie thought that it was Trine.
Mm-hmm.
And he sold it to me. I was like, yeah, okay, that probably is what it is. I guess you're going to win. Not even close.
No, what the hell was it?
It was actually using the alchemy station in Skyrim.
Of course it is.
Yeah, you believe me? I haven't got it in front of me, but I know...
I do believe you. As soon as you said that, it just dropped. Yep, that's fair enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, I thought somebody from the page messaged in with the answer. I can't seem to find who that was. If that was somebody and you're listening, let us know, and I apologise. I'll give you some credit next week. I'm really, really bad with that. Anyway, let's listen to this week's What's That Sound from Reprimi. The file's actually called Fart Noises.
Oh, God. Okay.
Let's have a listen.
You want quality? You go private. That's what I learned in Basra. Oh, yeah. See, you can't just live on farts and good intentions.
Ooh. It sounded like it was from a movie. I have no idea. You sound like you're thinking.
Yeah, it's ticking. Can you play it again?
Yep.
You want quality? You go private. That's what I learned in Basra. Oh, yeah. See, you can't just live on farts and good intentions.
I can't pick the voice.
I know the voice. I can picture the scene as well.
Oh, really?
It's a game where you're like a silent protagonist.
I don't know. This is a head scratcher. No, I definitely don't know. I'm going to play it again.
You want quality? You go private. That's what I learned in Basra. Oh, yeah. See, you can't just live on farts and good intentions.
No.
I'm going to have a guess. I can't have a guess. I can't think of the name of the game. I've got the game in my head, but I can't think of what it is. It's that shit one that played really badly.
Wonder.
Not that bad. Not that bad. Oh, I've got to try and Google the... I'm not going to Google the words, because I guess you probably could. I'm Googling, because we reviewed it. I can't even think of the name enough to Google it to work out what I'm trying to work out. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I've got no idea. It's probably not that anyway.
It's probably a Call of Duty.
No.
Sounds like...
Unless it's the latest one. If it's the latest one, I wouldn't know, because it's the only one I haven't played.
I haven't played them for a long time.
Anyway, if anyone listening at home or wherever you are, if you think you know what this week's What's That Sound is, send us a private message to our Facebook page and you'll get yourself a free game. That's it. That's What's That Sound. Let's move on to the last segment, the last words. You got any last words, Noogs?
Not really.
Sounds good.
Well, actually, get over to twitch.tv/AussieGamersTV
Yeah.
and check out two games that we streamed earlier this week that we didn't talk about because that's how much of an impact they had on our lives.
Oh, we played Wanda, yeah.
We did play Wanda, so there's still this talk that Wanda's a multiplayer game. So we had the assumption that we were the only two people in it, and I think we're pretty much right on the money there.
Yeah.
Thinking that we'd be put in the same server, but it doesn't even look like we were put on a server. It was just playing local. So
yeah,
we had a bit of a play around with that for a while, and then we started streaming Fishing Planet. And I was actually surprised at how much interaction we got streaming Fishing Planet. And, it's a bit of fun. We ended up being able to get into the same server, into the same room together. So that was pretty cool.
And I got a $100 fine for taking a small fish or something.
Taking the wrong fish, yep.
Stupid
Taking
thing.
the protected species.
Tastes so good, man.
But it tastes... endangerment tastes good.
That's right. Just a quick thing about Rocksteady. They're the ones that made the Batman games, the good ones.
Oh, yes. Did you hear their latest statement on Twitter?
Yeah, while they're not telling us anything, one of the devs or whatever are saying that when we do tell you, fans are going to lose their minds over the next game.
Yep. It looks like it's going to be good.
Lose their minds. Is that like a play on maybe something going crazy? Enemies looking into it too much. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
I think you're over checking that one.
Probably. Who cares?
All I saw in my head was the gif, I think, of Seth Rogen sitting there flinging his hands going, ah!
Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you by the time we got to last words, last week I said to you, you need to put a pop quiz together about The Last of Us. Have you done that?
No.
So I studied for like an hour today.
Yeah, I know you did.
How do you know I did?
Because I know how you think. I'm going to throw it on you, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Do it
it's
randomly.
coming. It's just going to go, oh, by the way, this week we have this for you.
You do realise now I'm going to study for every single episode until that happens.
Yeah. And we'll work it out. We'll get there. I'll be able
I'm
to
just going to
throw
keep
something.
studying until the point where it doesn't matter anymore. Just know everything about
Just
it.
know it. Just know it in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know David was played by Nolan North? Who the fuck is Nolan Smith?
Started off the quiz well, didn't we?
I need to study more.
Off you go.
Oh dear.
Do you know, I don't think I've actually met David in the game yet.
Haven't you got that far?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
I love it. I just throw one little line in that just revs.
Makes me angry. All the quiz. Well, I only need to study the first 30 minutes of the fucking game. Then.
No. I've got. I have ways.
Yeah, Google.
I have ways. No,
YouTube.
not just Google. Not just that. I've got other things.
Brendan Browny Brown.
Possibly.
Yeah. Oh dear. All right. Well,
Good
anyway,
stuff.
that's it. I think we're done.
Yeah. Well, I've got nothing left, mate. It's
Nothing left in the tank.
all it is now is starting to get the excited jitters for next week.
I know. Yep. So we'll be talking in next week's show a lot more about the EB Games Expo, the road to the Expo, and what we're expecting, what we're looking forward to, what we're going to be doing.
Special pass.
Yeah, that's it. So that's next week's episode. Actually, next week's episode we're recording before we go to the Expo, and then it'll go live on the Sunday of the Expo.
Sunday. Yep.
Yeah, and then you'll get our thoughts and impressions from the Expo the following week. That's how it works. It's a little bit delayed like that, but anyway, that's how TV works.
Make sure. Well, that's actually probably a good point, because one thing that we can probably cover now, leading up to the Expo, there's going to be plenty of coverage from all of us.
Yeah,
we're going to be having a bit of fun on the way there, and leading up to the Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you keep an eye out on Twitter, which is at AussieGamers12. Yeah.
Yep.
And then also over on Facebook as well. And there'll be plenty of stuff going up. So it'd be good to get some people jumping in with us when we're having a bit of fun.
There's going to be plenty of live content as we're going. It's just the podcast that's going to be a bit delayed after the fact. Yeah. So if you're keen to see what's going on, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, on Facebook, and you'll see all of our live stuff, because we'll be going live. Snoogs and I are driving. We're driving to the Gold Coast, so it's going to be a mad trip there. We're having rep premieres coming as well. It's going to be live streams from the car, and there's going to be stuff that we're doing on the side of the road as we take our little every 2-hour break, all that sort of garbage. There'll be live streams from the Expo. There'll be live streams from our just general shenanigans. It's going to be a fun few days. So look forward to it all. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks, Snooks.
Thank you, mate. Thanks you to everyone who's made it this far.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that does bother to get to the end of the show. Let's test people. If you're listening to this and you got to the end of the show, I want you to go into the pinned post. Please do this. I want to see how many people do it. And write, what's a weird word, Snooks? You come up with a weird word for us.
What's a weird word?
Gerald.
There's something wrong with me, because it's only all filth words that come to my mind.
Okay, just write the word, the name Gerald.
The name Gerald.
Gerald. I don't even care how you spell it. Spell it with a G, spell it with a J, whatever. It's funky. Actually, that's a good thing. Write it all differently. If somebody else has written Gerald, you write it differently, but the same word differently. Spelling mistakes all over the place. And don't explain why you're writing that. And we'll see how many people listen right to the end of the show. Nobody's going to write anything, are they?
Maybe. Got to have a bit of fun.
If I can get, let's get some incentive here. If we can get, we get enough views. I don't know how many people get to the end of the show. What do you reckon? 15? Is that's 15
that's a good
or
number? Yeah.
If we get 15 comments of Gerald, what do you want me to do? What should I do?
15 comments of Gerald will chuck Luke in the pool at the hotel, or better yet, into the ocean, no matter how cold it is.
Okay. All right, we'll do it. Fully clothed into the pool or the ocean, the beach or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, done. That's it. 15 Geralds, and it's done. If we get more than 50 Geralds, I'll do it naked.
Well, you can do it by yourself then. I don't want to see that.
It's not going to happen, and if it does, we'll deal with it then.
I'll be wearing some very dark sunglasses, like painted on ones.
Oh, let's fucking hope it doesn't happen. Anyway, thanks a lot to everybody. Let's see how this all goes. As usual, I am Lucas.
And I have been Snoobs. Thank you, everyone.
Catch us next time. Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter, so give @AussieGamers12 a follow, and also our YouTube channel is there waiting for you to give it the love that it deserves. This podcast is available for your convenience through iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.